Hello there guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be reviewing a pre-workout called Polar Bear Juice 2.0. It promises extreme pre-workout power by Berg Nutrition. So thank you guys for sending it down, but let's get into the usuals. Taste, price, label and effects all coming at you. Is it going to be worth picking up? Stay tuned, let's work through all of it. And if you're new here and you do like the video, please do give it a like, hit the sub button if you haven't already, hit the bell icon, all the usuals. Let's get into this review. And we're into the first segment, taste and mixability. So we've whacked it in, it's a flat scoop, 14 grams, giving it a stir, settled for about 30 seconds. That's the mixability we're looking at. Probably slightly worse than average, but we'll see, you know, probably just mix up as you drink. And we've got melting mango passion flavour. So let's see how it goes down. Obviously used it a few times before anyway, but let's give you our honest reaction on camera today. That's nice, yeah. Not normally a mango fan, but I think they've hit the nail on the head when it concerns their flavouring with this one. Just a nice, friendly, subtle, sweet tasting mango. Honestly, can't complain with that. As mangoes go, it's definitely one of the better ones I've had. One more sip and I'll give you a score. Yeah, I'd honestly be happy to give that an 8.5 out of 10. That's really good, like not bad at all. Let's move on to price. Okay, let's talk price of Polar Bear Juice 2.0. How much is it going to be setting you back? Are we talking rip-off, or are we talking bargain, or are we talking somewhere in the middle? Well, you head over to their official website, arcticbergnutrition.co.uk, where you can use our 15% discount code RB15. You can pick up this 25 serving tub for £22.94, and when you divide it up by the servings, it comes to 92 pence per serving. And as you guys may or may not know, we have a consistent pricing scale that measures how expensive pre-workouts are from across the world, where a 5 out of 10 is considered to be a bang averagely priced pre-workout. This comes in a very nice, healthy 8.5 out of 10 on the pricing scale. So it's priced way better than your average pre-workout, way, way better. So we could potentially be in bargain territory, but of course, we have to get into a label and the real world effects to really determine that, but it's looking promising so far. So yeah, very well priced product. What are we getting? Okay, let's talk labels. So what are we getting in this 14 gram formula? So we've got pure L-citrulline at 5 grams. Nice dose. Most people like to see between 4 and 6, 5, so we're right in the middle. It's going to bump up nitric oxide levels in the bloodstream, leading to increased blood flow and pump. So staple pump ingredient, we've got it right there at a decent dose, we'll take that. Beta anhydrous 3 grams, above the norm. We normally see 2 to 2.5 grams, so love to see that. Jack of all trades type ingredient, helps with power output, pumps, performance. Love to see it. Again, pretty much another staple ingredient there. L-tyrosine, another amino acid, 1500 milligrams. Probably only normally see about a gram, so again, we're going above and beyond with the dosages. Amino acid responsible for increased focus, mood, just getting your brain ticking over, and pairs up brilliantly with caffeine and other stimulants. Then we've got alpha GPC, 800 milligrams, so I'm going to assume you're going to yield 400 milligrams of actual choline. Probably the best form of choline in terms of a choline donor. It's going to help with your focus, coordination, staying in the zone whilst you're training, mind to muscle connection, athletic performance, all that good stuff that we want in a pre-workout. Then we've got Juglans Regia, walnuts, 350 milligrams, pretty decent dose there. Now this ingredient's one of those ones that's kind of dubbed as like a natural replacement for like DMHA in terms of it helping with focus, drive, energy levels, but we find that it can vary massively in terms of its effects based on the purity of its source. You know, if it's a good source of the walnut, if it's a bad source of the walnut, if it's even in there, you know, all of the rest of it. We've even seen it being used as a cover-up for actual synthetic DMHA, which obviously blows your socks off. So yeah, a lot of pre-workouts have this on. It normally is the deciding factor on which way the pre-workout's going to go. So we shall see in the effects section how that hits. Then we've got caffeine anhydrous, 350 milligrams, a nice healthy dose there. Probably around about average, maybe slightly higher than average in terms of today's dosing of pre-workouts for caffeine. That's that main stimulant in any pre-workout. It's going to kick in, wake you up, get you moving. It's the foundational ingredient to all of the pre-workouts we take, stimulant-based ones anyway. Then we've got Coagulea africana, 200 milligrams from the sausage tree, another stimulant there, another naturally occurring one. Again, I guess you could say that's kind of used as a replacement for things like DMHA and even Urea durensis and other things like that are used. This is more of a UK-based ingredient, I'd say. You wouldn't really necessarily see this in a US pre-workout or really anywhere outside of the UK. Kind of say the similar for Juggins Regia, really. But anyway, I digress. It's another stimulant, so obviously it's going to help with your energy levels, focus and drive. And again, we find this can kind of vary as well with potency of this one. So again, we'll see how it pairs up, that trio. It's quite exciting, you know. Caffeine, Juglins, and the Coagulea africana. We'll see how that trio of stims come together at those dosages. Then we've got a mento pump, a registered ingredient. Love to see that, 100 milligrams. It's dosed generally anywhere between 100 and 300 to 400 milligrams in terms of what we see in pre-workouts. 100 is admittedly on the lower end, but it's a jack of all trades ingredient. You know, primarily people obviously take it for the pump benefits, but it does also have lots of other side health benefits that you'll have to look up, because I'm not going to list them all off, because trust me, there is quite a few. But we do like that ingredient. Then we've got estrogen at 50 milligrams. That's going to help uptake of all of these ingredients, getting them through your body as quickly and efficiently as possible. So yeah, I think that they're hitting everything you want in a pre-workout formula here. They're hitting your stims, you know, your energy, your focus, a bit of endurance and pump. So yeah, it's just going to depend how it comes together in the real world. So let's get into it. Okay, let's talk real world effects of Polar Bear Juice 2.0. In the several times myself and Aaron have used it. And let's start off like we always do at the beginning. Normally you'd feel beta-alanine kicking in, but I don't know if you noticed in the label section or not, but it's not actually in this product. So for those of you that love beta-alanine, you will miss it. But for those of you that don't like beta-alanine, you'll be giving it a massive thumbs up, because it is actually very hard to come by these days, pre-workouts that don't have beta-alanine. And we do get a fair amount of people DMing us, you know, saying, what good pre-workouts can you recommend us that don't have beta-alanine? And we do struggle. They're few and far between. It's a bit like alpha-yohimbine, you know, another Marmite ingredient. Not everyone wants that in every pre-workout, but you're seeing that creep in more and more these days. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts. Depends if you like it or not. We generally like beta-alanine, but it's not an absolute deal breaker if a pre-workout doesn't have it in it.
Savage pumps in the gym and the bedroom. Wolf pump.
We also get a lot of people asking us about what good pre-workouts are there out there that are stimulant based but have under 200 milligrams of caffeine, and again, they're even more few and far between than ones without beta-alanine. So it's nice to have pre-workout options out there without, you know, some of these ingredients or lesser dosages, you know, going outside the box a little bit. So with that lack of beta-alanine, it allows you to focus on other elements of the pre-workout kicking in. So because you're not distracted, you know, getting all uncomfortable, itchy, tingly, all that kind of business, which, like I say, we do like, which generates that sense of urgency, it allows you to focus more on the stimulants kicking in, the focus coming in, the sense of clarity, that switched on feeling, but comes in very smoothly with this product. I would honestly say the strength level is perfect. It's hitting it bosh right in the middle. You know, it's not too weak to the point where you're like, is this even kicking in? Can I feel anything? But it's also not too strong that you're absolute spitting feathers flapping around off your tits. So, you know, you probably guessed it by now. I would say that this comes in to the stronger end of a daily driver product. So yeah, it's one of those ones that you're going to be able to get away with using more often than not. So yeah, straight away, that's a thumbs up for us. We like those kind of pre-workouts these days. You know, we're not taking the crazy ones too regularly. But anyway, I digress. So let's talk about the energy. So like I said, nice sweet spot amount, healthy, productive, daily driver-esque levels of energy. Lasts a good 3 or 4 hours, you know, from the point where it kicks in to the end where it starts to taper on down. I would say that it starts to taper down after sort of like the 3 to 4 hour mark, and then slowly leaves with no crash. So that's always good to see. And maybe that's a case of the fact they've put those different sources of stimulants in there. They've got the nootropics in there to keep you geared up beyond the point of the stimulants working. So yeah, there's no complaints at all, at least when it concerns the energy levels and the drive and, you know, the stimulants. Feels healthy, feels productive, you feel switched on. And that actually segues me nicely into the focus, which I would actually say is probably my favourite element of this pre-workout. You know, I would actually say all categories, you know, pump, focus and energy are sitting up there, but for me, I would say the focus just about edges the other two. It just feels very smooth, very healthy, A to B to C to D in the gym, confident, just let's go. Like, not in an illicit, crazy off your head way, a very level-headed, productive way. So obviously the jugglings that's in there, it's not a cover-up for any dodgy, you know, synthetic DMHA or any other banned ingredients or stimulants or things like that. I do think it is just a genuine, good sourced amount of, or strain of Jugglin's Reserve walnut, where it's a legit ingredient and it is kicking into a nice healthy level. Because you feel that uplifted, drive feeling that you would expect to get from it, that where you know that it's not just caffeine alone, or just caffeine and Coaglia in this scenario. So you know that it's got a little bit more than a normal caffeine only pre, but not to the point where you're like, wow, this feels unhealthy, this feels crazy, I'm off my tits. So, you know, you don't always need to or want to be off your tits for every gym session. You know, especially if you're one of these that likes to take the more daily driver pre-workouts on lesser days, like maybe a shoulder or an arm day, and then the crazier ones on like leg days, back days, you know, you name it. But I actually found this one held up perfectly fine in any scenario. Where it's on the stronger end of a daily driver, you're able to get away with using it on your heavier, more intense days, just as much as your more high volume, you know, lesser, I guess you could say lesser timed days, you know, like an arm or shoulder day, like I mentioned. So it's very versatile in that regard, in that it's right in the middle, so you can get away with using it in a couple of different scenarios. So yeah, the focus is definitely the best thing. Not illicit crazy feeling, but definitely, I would say the sense of clarity and confidence would be the keywords I would use to describe the focus, and like a general uplift of like you're firing on all cylinders. I would say the least good, but not by a huge margin, is the pumps. Obviously you're still getting the citrulline and the betaine and the focus ingredients that sort of tie in for that mind-muscle connection at decent dosages. So the pumps are no slouch. I would just say that they're good. They're good. Whereas I'd say the energy is great, and I'd say the focus is pretty much fantastic. You know, as you might expect based on the label. So focus, energy, pump. But like I said, all fighting each other at the top end of the spectrum when it concerns the scoring these elements. So yeah, you do get pumped on it, but they're just good. You're not going to get absolutely swollen off your chops on this pre-workout unless you're some sort of freak. But yeah, they do have their pump formula that I'm presuming you could mix in with this if you really wanted to increase the element. And I believe that Aaron has reviewed that, so check that out on our channel if you're interested. So yeah, I honestly don't have a bad word to say about this pre-workout. It tastes good, it's priced amazingly well, it feels good, it's hitting every element you want, it's very, very reasonable, and there's no negatives to it. You know, no appetite suppression, no keeping you up all night, well, me anyway, person dependent, just no jitters, you know, nothing about it. It just all feels clean, nice, healthy, and you get good training sessions from it. So, you know, it's left you wondering, you know, what more do you want? What more do you need than that? And with the fact that it's priced so fantastically well, under £1 a go, I would have to say, you know, we do this new rating system now of buy it, shortlist it or avoid it. I would actually have to say this falls into the buy it realm, because you're getting a very fleshed out, effective pre-workout for a very cheap price. You know, our discount code has obviously helped that, but even then, without the discount, I still think it's very fairly priced. So yeah, this pre-workout, it's good, it's impressed me. Because, you know, being straight up honest, looking at the packaging, it kind of doesn't look like anything too special. I mean, the marketing is obviously around polar bears and the Arctic and all that, but just seeing that in the shelf, it doesn't exactly stand out at you. Like, you know, it's not got crazy textured label or any multicoloured things going on or anything that's going to really catch your eye. So it could easily slip under your radar as something that you might think is cheap or non-effective, but quite the contrary, is a very effective pre-workout. So yeah, falls into the buy it category, hitting every element you want. I don't think there's much more to say than that. But yeah, if you've used it, let us know down below how you got on with it. Would you recommend it? You know, what other pre-workouts do you want to see us review on the channel? Drop that down below as usual. And that's everything, guys. And as always, stay stimmed.